What's up, boys and girls? We're live on a what we call big ass slate. If you didn't get to watch Mr. Skeens just completely shut down the Cubs, you missed out. The kid's electric, so much fun to watch. How we doing, Smitty?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, I figured he would get pulled. I didn't think they'd let him keep going, but he's insane.
Yeah, so Pat McAfee this week, Skeens was on the show, and McAfee told him he'll donate $1 million to the charity of his choice if Skeens breaks Wood's K record, which eventually he's going to at this rate if they let him throw it, right? If they give him 9, right, go like I have to look at the schedule. Hopefully they play the Mariners, right? And just let him just go, right? His stuff is just filthy. He's so much fun to watch.
It is.
If I was a Pirates fan, I'd be excited for Jones and him. And then we were joking in chat. It's funny to watch how the Pirates are just lighting up the scoreboard on the day he pitches. They can't score any other time, but they're getting that boy some run support.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, let's get into today's slate. For as big as it is, I'm going to be concentrated on pitching today. I kind of got my spots I want to go. I kind of know who I want to attack and where I want to attack. So I'm just going to go through the lineups here. I'm not, where are you at with, hold on, let me get to the right thing here. I'm on the right one. All right. So get that off. So I'm going to start with the first game they show kicking off. I actually like pitching in this first game, and I like a little bats, but John Means is throwing. I like Means at his price. He's only $7,900. That Mariners team just Ks a ton. I get they hit lefties a little better, but man, that for his price, that K upside, I really like it today.
Yeah, I think Means looks pretty good. Kind of like both sides of that game, but
yep.
I think it looks pretty good.
And I mean, he's only around 10%, which I like. Miller's a little pricier. So go play. I'm going to have Stowers today in all my lineups at 2K. He just opens too much stuff up. The kid has too much upside, right? Another one of the, factory printed young studs. Like they just print them in a factory. They all look the same. It's kind of funny. Right. If you've seen any of the memes on it, but yeah, so I like Stowers there. And same, I like both sides. Like, I like some O'Hearn, I like some Rutch. So I like that game. What do you think of Mr. Cortez today versus the Sox?
I like Nestor today. I think his price is a little high for his strikeout rate, but the White Sox are so bad against left-handed pitching that I think he's a pretty solid pitcher today.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to end up leading the slate in ownership, which I don't love. I'll be interested to see what it does when we get closer, but right, I mean, hard to not attack that Sox lineup. If you want some leverage, right, go Pham, man. Pham's been hitting the ball great. Eloy's getting hot. That'll get some leverage there. Mike Clevenger strikes fear into no one. I kind of said today, right, like, so for me, it's Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, right? Like, are all going to be driven on ownership, right? They all project well. I all like where they land. I might mix and match. It'll just depend on where they go from there.
Yeah, I like the Yankees a lot today. They're one of my highest exposed stacks off my early build, so I like going there.
Wells is catching today. He's cheap at $3,400, so keep that in mind. Next game, so I really like the Jays today. It's Davis Schneider day. I mean, he just, right, he gets Ty Alexander, he gets a fly ball pitcher that just throws stuff like it is zoned. So at 4K, I'm probably going to go there. I'll probably have some JT. Like I like the Jays today. I'm not really interested in the Rays side. Bassett's price is like the Rays just don't care enough for me, but I definitely like the Jays side.
Yeah, I kind of like both offenses only because Bassett has some ownership. So I kind of like getting to some of the Rays, specifically Josh Lowe with his struggles to lefties. And Aranda, he's cheap too. But
Yeah, so,
the Blue Jays as well.
yeah, I'd say the one leverage spot against Bassett is Lowe. Like Lowe's metrics against him, and you guys will see in my write up. I kind of break down Lowe. I like him today. Over to the Twins, man. Jefferson's so hot, but I can't pitch him at 5. I can't use him at 5K today. I'm just not going to go there. And I do like on the Guardian side, Manzardo's hitting 6 today. So I like they're moving him up in the lineup if you want a little bit of leverage off of SWR. But other than that, like on this big a slate, like that game doesn't excite me.
Yeah, in my early build, I wasn't really getting to either team. I had like 2% of each, which really nothing.
Yeah, right. Like you're gonna have a lineup just because you play 100+ lineups.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Single entry 3 max. I'm just not going there. My boy Christian Scott is throwing today. I love Scott at his 8,100 price. His ownership is good. I like him against this Marlins team today.
Yeah, I really like Scott today too. I kind of like both pitchers in this game. Scott, I thought he would be the chalk pitcher on the slate, and he's not. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I actually think there's a really good chance my SE ends up stacking this game. That I just go Luzardo Scott. There's a really good chance I go there. I like both of them. Their pricing's nice, right? It gets you in at 15.5 on 2 pitchers that project well, both project into the 6K range. So I like that there. Not really going to go anywhere with the bats other than I like JT today, right? Because Luzardo kind of pitches to his wheelhouse a little bit. And I don't hate going to Lindor at $4,500. Like he's a great one-off if you want, at 4,500, JD's 33, you can kind of mini stack out of there. Pretty cheap exposure at shortstop today.
Yeah, I agree.
Fried's in that. So Fried's in the Freddie, like in that Freddie category with me today. I like him. He's going to be ownership driven. If he stays this low in 3 max, I'll try to get some exposure. Just because, he's, Freddie, Bryce Miller, and Fried are all, sub 10%, sub 8% right now. So like that's a good spot to get some leverage on this biggest slate.
Yeah, I agree. I think out of all those you mentioned, he's probably my least favorite just because of his lack of K upside going against the Padres, but I don't mind him at his ownership at all.
Yeah, just know you're not going to get a ton of Ks there. And on the other side, right, I want to get to Braves lefties. They got Harris batting 6 today. Jared's still only $2,900. Olson's only $5,200. And he's getting warm. And so I'm definitely, Waldron is woeful against left-handed hitters. So I'm probably going to try to get some exposure to the left-handed bats in Atlanta today.
Yeah, I am too. I really like Michael Harris and Matt Olson today.
Yep, same. Like I could see trying to do and I might do some weird stuff I like being really unique. Like I'm a guy that likes to stack 5 because we have to get less right. But on these big 13 game slates, I might go, Olson, Harris, Lindor, Martinez, and do some mini stacks across a few games. I might do one lineup that way today. What do you think of Mr. Raggins today versus the A's?
Man, the A's are a scary team just because when you want them to do something, they normally don't. And then when you don't want them to, they will. So, but I like Raggins today. I don't love his ownership, but, I mean, he's been pretty good this year. Pretty solid favorite. Has a K upside. Really not a whole lot of holes to poke.
Yeah, it's the only hole is the 32%. If he's over 30% ownership on a 13-game slate, I won't play him. Like that's just as much as I like him, and that's just one of those I'm okay losing to. Yeah. I'm indifferent on the Royals. I don't love them. I don't hate them. It's just whatever for me.
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, Mueller's not very good, but the A's bullpen has kind of been good, so it's kind of keeping me off the Royals a little bit.
Well, and I mean, Miller's just been lights out, so pretty much unhittable. The only game total above 8.5 today, Texas and LA. I like the Angels have been treating us well. Give me those righties versus Heaney. I like those righty bats today, and I don't hate that. I don't hate the lineup. It's I like Logan. I like Pilar, Ward. I mean, I think I want some exposure there. What about you?
Yeah, I like the Angels today, and they make like your Brave stacks and stuff like that work because they're so cheap to stack.
Yep. And Rangers, I'm indifferent. I'm whatever. Again, this big a slate. I'm more right. Dodgers, Yankees, Braves for me on the big bats. So, and then we got my man Hunter Brown throwing for Houston today. So I'm probably going to go back to, I like Milwaukee. I really have considered, if I have time, if I can get it done, I might play at 20 max today because I want to get some exposure to 4 or 5 teams on this big a slate. And it's just Hunter. He's just not been great. And I love Hunter, man. But they've been hot. The one day I didn't get to play the freaking Brewers this week, they went off. So that was a little annoying. And then, man, Freddie's so expensive, but he's so not owned. And, man, the Houston lineup is kind of I just don't know if I can get there. But without Jordan, I don't love it.
Yeah. As far as the Brewers, I like them today. Browns looked better, but the Brewers are pretty good against right-handed pitching, so I like going there. I'm kind of with you on Freddie. I think his ownership looks good, but there's just so many pitchers on this slate that have similar upside for cheaper prices.
Yeah, and I get he's low, but even with that lineup, those guys don't strike out at an insane rate. Like they just don't, right? Like it's just not there. We just got the Rangers lineup, and I'm not excited. So, yep, we will move on. Next game, I'm just not interested in. I'm not interested in the Sox and Cards today. Just not going there. And I don't hate Duran just because, right, it's old man Gibson. But it's and Bellows, working his way back. It's hit or miss with the Cards. Just not interested today.
Yeah, on this big of a slate, we can be picky, and I don't have any interest there either.
All right, so here's the interesting game for me. This is just right as I'm watching ownership, and so I like Scooball, but he's 10K, and his ownership's getting close to 20%, which makes me want to play a Diamondback stack. And I like Scooball. Like I think the kid is fantastic, but the D-backs don't K a ton, right? I mean, Jock's in the lineup, but whatever. I'm debating it. I don't know if I'll get there because of their pricing, but if I was playing an MME, I definitely have some D-backs exposure. Where are you at with that?
I was just checking that right now. It don't look like I have much right now, but I normally fix all that closer to lock, so I'll probably have at least 1 or 2 Diamondback stacks.
Okay. Yeah, just right. If I'm playing a GPP style, I'm trying to go there today. Yeah, so it's there. And then we got Mr. Los Angeles himself, Ellie De La Cruz, Mr. 4 stolen bases. Like think about it. He has 30 stolen bases already. Like it is May 17th, and that man has 30 stolen bases. And I have a good amount of exposure. I have a ton of best ball exposure and some season long. And I let somebody talk me off of him towards the end. Hey, just be careful. And I literally wrote up, everybody was talking about his unders. And I wrote that whole article for MoonShots about his overs. And here he goes, right? Like he's doing exactly what I said he had the upside to do. And I'm just mad at myself. I don't have more exposure.
I did the same exact thing. I was taking him early, and then towards the middle, I was kind of listening to more content and stuff and heard a lot of people talking down on him, and I kind of changed my mind. I wish I wouldn't have listened to anybody.
It wasn't down. I just wanted – so I just limited more exposure because I had enough. I wish I wouldn't, right? Obviously, hindsight's always 2020, but I wish it wouldn't have. Gosh, I want to bet Paxton based on balls, but man, they just don't like besides steer, they in India they just don't walk. So like that's a double-edged sword, but man, I want to bet that. It's like staring me in the eye, like bet me. But then we got Ellie, who's either on or right. You gotta remember he's doing this. He has a 35% K rate, guys. It's kind of wild. So, but if he gets on, he's gone. Nobody's going to Paxton, and then I mean, he's $6,600, but I can't not play Shohei today. His lifetime. I was talking about this earlier today. Listen to Shohei's lifetime numbers versus Mr. Frankie. Okay, you ready for this?
Yep.
He is hitting with over 20 at bats, 417, 4 homers, 11 RBIs, and a 1450 OPS. Right? Like I just got to play him. Like, and I'll probably play him in the outfield. And he's a little easier for me to eat at FanDuel, just because of the utility position. But man, he just owns them like so much. And right, the weather's nice. It's going to be in the 60s. There's a little wind. Like, I got to have some Dodger exposure today.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I like the Dodgers as well. The Reds just used up a ton of their bullpen last night too.
Yeah. So same. Like it's there. And if you had the under last night in that game, I'm sorry. What a way to lose that with those 5 runs. But it was great for DFS. So, and then we're gonna finish up with my Giants. I'm not going to Kyle. He's $8,200. I just, as much as they can, they won't go there. If Beauchard, which he should be, is in the lineup, he's a great outfield use today as a one-off. It's $3,500. He just go look at his ISO, right? Like he's getting going. There's a reason he's a highly touted prospect. And the Giants don't interest me on this slate, especially when their total's 7.5 and right. It's in San Francisco. It's not in Colorado.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton of interest in either offense. Harrison's going to be in my pool just for his K upside at a decent price.
Yeah, and again, if you're playing, MME, that totally makes sense from a single entry 3 max. I'm just not going there. I'm going to go with the other pitchers we talked about. All right, who we rocking for your moonshot today? Who do you got?
Today I'm going with Anthony Rizzo. You can get him for $550 on BetMGM.
All right. And I'm going Mr. Schneider of the Jays, right? And that ridiculous ISO, WOBA, everything against a fly ball pitcher. You can get him for $560 just because, again, at 4K, he will make most of my lineups, if not all of them. So it's just a spot I'm going to play him today. Lots of that for me. That's a lot of value. I will tell you the totals make me think we might get a lot of lead ball today. So that's why I'm kind of willing to maybe do some smaller stacks. Just because again, there's one total over 8.5. That's it. And there's a lot of they're just too low. That's the books telling us, hey, we think we know they're going to use the weighted ball today.
Yeah, I was kind of realizing that too as we were going through all the games. I was like, oh, this is going to be a boring slate.
Yep, for sure. So awesome. Well, we enjoyed it. We hope you guys all have a great weekend. And let's go cash.